Greetings. I originally created this video series for my own students and for students of the Tattershall School of Defense. But now that I see it's getting a much wider audience, some people are using this to introduce themselves to Capoferro. I thought I'd go back and discuss some of the terminology that I'm using throughout. Let me begin with the book that I'm working from. It was written by Rodolfo Capoferro. It was published in 1610. You can find two very good translations that I use. One is by Tom Leone. The other is by William Wilson and Jurek Swenger. So first, I'll discuss the four principal hand positions. The first position, prima. The hand is up. The palm is mostly to the right side or to the left if you're left-handed. The way he describes it in the manual is that the hilt is over the shoulder and you have first position. Second position, when the hilt is even with the shoulder, we also tend to say that the quillions are flat and your palm is facing down. This is seconda, second position. Third is below seconda, but outside of your knee. So anything that's down in this position, the resting position, up out to here is third position. And then fourth, quarta, is inside the knee up to palms facing up towards the sky. So anything in here is considered quarta. All right, the second term, stringering, also we sometimes use gaining, is when my opponent is pointing their sword at me, I will lay my sword over theirs without touching it, so it impedes the line of attack that they have to me. So I am trying to control their sword by cutting off this line of attack and forcing them to do something else. That is the stringer. So next is measure. Measure is effectively the distance it takes to hit your opponent, or the fact that you can't hit your opponent means you're in measure. So Capoferro judges it from the distance from the tip of your sword to your opponent. It's important to keep in mind that you're judging both your measure in a fight and your opponent's measure in a fight. The reason we do a lot of drills, the reason you try and work against the Pell, is you want to know your measure intimately. You want to know when you are at the very edge of your measure, when you have to take a step to hit your opponent. You want to know when you close in what your measure is like at different distances, so that when you're fighting someone, all you have to really think about and process is whether your opponent is close enough to you to hit you. It's important to note that in the Vienna Anonymous, the author talks about the measure to be watched in a fight is the distance that your opponent's front foot is to you. So that's another way to think about how far is your opponent from you. And finally, there's tempo. So tempo is, it's a varied word. It has a lot of nuances when you get down to the definition of it. But for now, for this series, what you need to know is a tempo is a single action I can take, or it's the space in which I should have taken an action. So if I make one lunge, strike an opponent, that is one tempo. If I reach out and hit someone in the hand, that is one tempo. If I've closed on my opponent and I have the advantage, but I didn't take it, that's still a tempo. I just didn't use it to my advantage. I didn't take that tempo to do anything. So for now, that's the definition of a tempo that we'll go with, is just one single action is a tempo. I think that's it for this introductory report. I hope this all helps. I hope the video series is very good for you. Thanks.